In the wilderness, we have to learn the difference between our wants and needs. When God gave the people food that the people of God needed, they succumbed to the proclivity that we all have to try and hoard God's provision to guard against the possibility of future hunger or need. They tried to gather more manna than what their families needed for the day. But God's instruction was clear that they should only gather in what they needed for that particular day, except on Friday when they would gather twice as much so that they could prepare their food for the Sabbath and truly rest on that Sabbath day. When they tried to gather more than they needed, they only had what they needed. And those who weren't able to gather what they needed also had enough. When they tried to keep what was provided for today until tomorrow, it spoiled, except for what was gathered on the sixth day. It kept through the seventh. And if they tried to gather manna on the seventh day, there was none to be found. God knew what each person needed, and God provided it. God even provided for their rest on the Sabbath, because if there was nothing to gather, there was no reason for them to go out and try. As we wander in the wilderness, learning who we are and whose we are, we must learn to trust that God knows what we need better than we do. God knows how to care for us as individuals and how to care for us as a community. God knows and God wants us to come to that same knowledge. God wants us to know what is truly enough for us, what we can and should share, and that the rest is vitally important to our well-being.